Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 will take us to the 27th of June, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECMWF ensembles over a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will get us in towards the middle of July. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first, video sales are 6 UK weather forecast. Please like, share and subscribe on all of Data's content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Right, well, we're going to start off with the central England temperature. So no update for CT from Hadley again today, still standing 12.1, visual to the 14th of June. When that updates, we will of course bring that to you. These are the 500 millibar high harmony flow charts for Penn State University for next week, 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top, and the GFS is down here on the bottom. So 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red and orange extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. You can see within a 7 to 10 day time frame, the ECM has a nice area of high pressure sitting over much of Western and also Central Europe. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic, and so the wind flow could be coming up from more of a southerly direction. So that's dry and warm there as we're going into 7 to 10 day time frame for the last week of June. Let's see how the GFS is looking in comparison. So there is a ridge, but it's much further northwards with the GFS midnight run, and more low pressure in the Atlantic, possibly cutting in underneath that area of high pressure. So out of the two, the GFS looks rather cooler and more changeable of the two, and the ECM looks warmer and drier. Right, let's just flip that over. There we go. So, these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. On Glastonbury today, red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Glastonbury. Because we're well into Glasgow updates. Hello to Glasgow guys. Are you tuning to a more detailed video outlook from GavsWeatherVids? Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Right, next Glasgow update will be tomorrow at 7 PM. Right, so we're starting off around to still a little bit below average actually with the upper air temperatures, but they are going to be lifting up over the second half of this week into the weekend and the beginning of next week. And then as we go into the end of June, start of July, just hovering close to average. There's no sign of any particularly hot weather coming up there within the ensemble graph. I have to say, 1 or 2 hot outliers I suppose up here, but most of them just heading into a warmer frame, you know, rather than becoming excessively warm and or hot. Precipitation wise, so quite a dry weather to come over the next few days, but it looks like there's going to be some showery weather over the weekend. And then next week, bit of uncertainty. Notice this green spike just here. Now that's a precipitation spike occurring right around the Glastonbury period, around day 10. Probably from a thundery area of low pressure or something. Doesn't look overly wet, but it does look completely settled. There are quite a few precipitation spikes coming through. So I think this final week of June, beginning of July period is still causing some uncertainty actually within the GFS ensembles. Temperature anomalies from the 17th to 25th of June, they're coming out around to slightly below average, but it's not a particularly big deviation that we see there, to be honest. So reasonably close to normal. And as far as precipitation goes, from 17th to 25th of June, drier than normal, more particularly in southern and western areas. The latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we've got an area of low pressure in the North Sea, and we bring down the wind from a north or a northwesterly direction today. So below, but it's been with us over the weekend, is edging away and leaving in its wake a bit of a cool northerly, northwesterly flow. That said, it's not too bad out there today. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Thursday, I should say. A nice ridge of high pressure building in from the Atlantic, then being quite a bit of dry weather. That ridge weakens on Friday, allowing some lower pressure in, particularly to the north, some showery rain up there. And then as we go further on through next weekend, or the coming weekend, into start of next week, then we get this nice build of pressure from the Azores high, 1,025 millibars, bringing drier and warmer weather there by the 24th of June. Icon, again, showing that we've got a ridge for Thursday, then the ridge weakens Friday into Saturday, bringing showery conditions, and then high pressure establishing through the early part of next week. Again, nice ridge building up from the Azores high, nice extension, should turn things mostly dry and warm. The KMA looks like this. Again, looking a little bit on the showery side as we end this week into the weekend. So, sorry everyone, and then later in the weekend to start next week, high pressure ridging up from the Azores, turning things mostly dry and warm. That high pressure then goes further north, but still in control right way to the end of next week, bringing loads of dry, fine and warm or very warm weather, blocking off the areas of low pressure in the Atlantic. So next week is high and dry with the KMA, and potentially very warm, if not quite hot, as winds come up from a southeasterly type direction. That looked nice, isn't it? Waiting for a bit of summer. This is how GFS midnight run is looking. Once more, high pressure ridging up from southwest, bringing quite a lot of dry, warm weather for Thursday. Then we weaken the ridge a little bit through Friday and Saturday, turn things rather showery and somewhat cooler as well. So a showery spell over the weekend, and then high pressure starts building to the south of the east of the country to start next week, bringing drier and warmer conditions. But this thundery trough here around the 26th of June starts edging in, and that could bring some downpours. That turns into an area of low pressure. Oh dear, the Glastonbury goers don't want to be seeing that. Thursday 27th of June, day 10, looking really wet and potentially quite thundery for England and Wales there. That gets out of the way, but we keep further sort of shallow troughs sitting around the country into the last weekend of June. GFS definitely having a wobble there on the dry and warm spell for the last week of June into the beginning of July, where high pressure builds up over Scandinavia, but still with these sort of bungee troughs edging in from the south and the west. What about the GFS 6Z, very latest? Again, we weaken pressure on Friday with some showery conditions likely into the weekend. Shallow areas of low pressure edging in from the Atlantic, being the risk of some showery conditions at the very least. It's not overly wet. Next week, high pressure both starting to re-establish. This looks a little bit better from GFS 6Z for morning wave high pressure next week. Drier and warmer under that ridge. That carries on beyond day 10 as we get into Saturday 29th, Sunday 30th of June. But high pressure ridge does start tweaking a bit with some thundery lows across France and the Low Countries, so possibly turning a little bit more thundery there. But overall, GFS 6 there much more towards high pressure again. However, getting to the beginning of July, look at this, a large dartboard low starts moving in from off the Atlantic, so the beginning of July turns very unsettled on the GFS 6, and I don't think we'll worry too much about that, as we've got quite a bit of uncertainty for the last week of June. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why don't drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. That's incredible. Thank you so much everyone. Right, GM again with high pressure ridging in on Thursday. High pressure weakening then through Friday and Saturday with low pressure being showery rain in from off the Atlantic into the beginning of next week. High pressure again ridging to the south of the east should bring dry and warmer weather, especially to more southern regions. But later next week, another trough sort of drops in from the north. So the GM is struggling to settle things down more than for a day or so, to be honest. And then finally, the ECM, again, building up the high pressure from southwest on Thursday. Quite a lot of dry weather with that. Then pressure weakening Friday to Saturday. Showery conditions coming in from off the Atlantic over the weekend, especially so in the north. Next week, though, builds pressure nice and strongly from the south. So around days 8, 9, 10, high pressure takes over into the east of the country. We pull up the southerly southeast winds, and look at the upper air temperatures. They turn really quite hot with the ECM by day 10, plus 15 Celsius firm in the country, and plus 20 Celsius firm, not all that far away, down across the Bay of Biscay. So ECM, I think, the hottest of the models at day 10. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Meteorological.com. So some heavy rain getting to the far southeast corner tomorrow, actually, otherwise showering in the north. Then we've got a drier spell through the middle part of the week. End of the week into the weekend brings more showery bursts in from off the Atlantic, especially to the north and the west. Not much rain, though, you'll notice down in the south. And then we're under high pressure, so we turn mostly dry through days 8, 9, and 10 anyway. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles day 4, day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 27th of June. 14 members of the ECM ensembles including the control of the operational run with high pressure over and to the east of the country, and that draws up wind from a southerly southeast easterly direction, mostly dry, fine and very warm, maybe quite hot by day 10 with those 14. 13 again with high pressure dominating a little bit further northwards, but should be mostly dry and warm or very warm with that. 10 with high pressure, perhaps a bit more to the south, low pressure towards the northwest. That could leave us in slightly more of a northwesterly flow, I suppose. We've got 8 with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and winds coming in from a westerly direction. That's a little bit more changeable. And then we've got 6 with a Scandinavian high, bring the wind around from the east. That's mostly dry and relatively warm. Most of the options seem to involve high pressure at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 2nd of July. 11 members of the ECM ensemble still with a ridge to the west of Europe. Should be mostly dry and fine with that. Could be a little bit cooler, winds coming in the northwesterly direction, maybe. We've got 10, though, much more unsettled, low pressure taking over across the north and the west of Europe. That'd be a very unsettled start to July. We've got 9 with high pressure between Iceland and Scandinavia. We'll bring the wind in from the northeast. We have got 7 with high pressure over and to the east of the country, mostly dry, relatively warmish. We've got another 7 with low pressure right over top of the coast. Again, that to be very unsettled. And then we've got a further 7 with a ridge from the Atlantic into West Europe. Low pressure is away to the north, mostly dry, and you would have thought quite warm with that one. So a range of options. So it looks like high pressure should be in control still at day 10. By the beginning of July, though, day 14, we might find ourselves going back to something more unsettled. CFS V2, finally, these are 500 millibar high times bring down to week periods. The first week period takes from the 17th to 23rd of June. So the next week has high pressure way to the north, low pressure down to the south. That could bring some showery conditions into the south, but generally high pressure should keep most of us dry. And into week 2, which is the 24th to the 30th of June, high pressure dominating the weather, mostly dry and warm or very warm. End to June with that one. Week 3 will be the 1st to the 7th of July. Low pressure's back, so the first week of July turns unsettled. And into week 4, which will be the 8th to the 14th of July, we then get a ridge in the Atlantic going up towards Greenland and probably some sort of northerly flow setting up, and so it probably is reasonably settled with that. The Atlantic is blocked off, but could be a bit showery. But the main thing is that it looks quite cool, actually, so drier and cool there during the second week of July. We shall see. Right, if you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why don't you drop a comment, let us know anything about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. I'll just tell you what's happening on my channel tomorrow. We have 6am UK weather forecast. Extended European outlook should be back tomorrow. And as well as all that, we'll have another 10 to 14 day. And don't forget, we've got a Glastonbury update coming up for you tomorrow as well. So lots to look forward to. Keep checking back for more. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.